lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete that. He's crazy
Side by
stuff.
side, Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Hello and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel's inaugural broadcast of the American Sim Racing Camping World Truck Series here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Now this is round 4, so 3 rounds have gone already, which we did not broadcast, and this follows the NASCAR series, so it'll be the North Carolina Education Lottery 100. Hi, I'm Richard Losper, and with me in the booth is Samuel Ryman. Behind the scenes doing all the button pushing is our director, Kevin Brown. Also, we are using some special camera sets provided by the very talented Dougie Beard. Samuel, this track, Charlotte, I love this combo, trucks and Charlotte. It kind of grabs me straight away.
Yeah, it's one of those 1.5 mile oval circuits that are traditionally referred to as cookie cutter tracks. However, the diehard NASCAR fan will be quick to point out that not all 1.5 mile circuits are the same. As a matter of fact, this isn't technically an oval, it's more like a quad oval, kind of got a D shape to it by a little kink out on the front stretch that you might be able to see from a helicam shot, which means that you gotta keep your wits about you even when you're going quote unquote straight down the front stretch. It's gonna be a 67 lap 100 mile race, which would make you think that they might only have to make about 1 pit stop. Well, that's not gonna be the case, Richard, because they've only got half a fuel tank of fuel, so we will see plenty of pit stops under caution and perhaps even under green tonight, despite it being a bit of a sprint race for a NASCAR series. A very fast track, Charlotte Motor Speedway, 24 degrees banking in the turns under the lights, but watch out, you gotta have a good brake pedal because pit road speed is only 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's right, Samuel. All of what you said is, you know, it's what makes this track really exciting. That 24 degrees of banking, bearing in mind there's some banking even on the straightaways, about 5 degrees of banking on the straightaways even. So this track's going to give us some really good, it can give us some really good racing. And it sounds like, if I'm looking at the championship, it sounds like, Samuel, that in fact, there has been some great racing, because if you look at the leaderboard in the championship, Gary Whitson currently is the leader on 115 points, but behind him is Nick Cohen, guess what, also on 115 points, so nothing in it for positions 1 and 2. And the third place, Jordan Harnish, is minus 2 points, so he's only 2 points behind. So it looks like at least at the front of the field, Samuel, there's some hot racing going on. And we seem to have lost Samuel for the moment. So as I was saying, with the top 3 guys running so closely with each other, in 4th place we have Alex Bates on 98 points. So that puts him 17 points back. That's not very, very far back, because these guys are using the very same championship scoring as they do in the real NASCAR series. So about 43 points maximum, plus a couple of bonus points would mean something like 47 points is the maximum points you can get from any one race. And that means that anybody who is within 20 points or so of the leader is within striking distance of taking away the lead. So a very tough championship. I'll just run through the rest of the field for you. In 5th place we've got Tim Johnson in the championship. He's followed by Jason Kristen on 92 points. Bryce Whitson, who is one of the organizers of this series, he's in 7th place. Mark Myers, another organizer, in 8th place. Then we've got Andy Warren and Brad Wren. That's the top 10 in the championship. And the spread between the leader and the 10th place is 36 points. So at this point, with 3 races gone, and this being the 4th race, anybody can jump up to the front. So now we have Samuel back with us. Thank you, Samuel. I've just been talking about the championship here and looking at the point scores, and it seems like anybody can, if they win this race, can get up to the front. So very, very close championship. But we do have some stories of this race. We've spoken about the championship. There's also a bunch of other things we can talk about, Samuel.
Yeah, one quick note I want to point out on the championship. You mentioned, Richard, that they follow the same NASCAR point scoring system as in real life, which as a general rule means one position is worth 1 point. If you finish 4th, you get 1 extra point than the guy who finished 5th. But just to give you an idea of how close the championship is, even with that little difference in points, Gary Whitson, who currently leads the points, jumped up 6 positions in the point standings at the last race. He entered the last race 7th in the points and is now the points leader. So it really is anyone's points championship. But yeah, Richard, talking about other stories heading in here, as we've got about 5 minutes of open qualifying left now, which is sure to be providing our viewers with some excitement. It's that, you know, not only do we have a very close championship, but we have a very exciting track to shake that championship up a little bit, if not even make it a little bit closer. Just in practice, Richard, the top 9 trucks were within 1/10 of a second of each other, despite the fact that it takes about half a minute to get around here.
Well, that's true. And, you know, I'm impressed with the kinds of times that we're seeing here. I remember running laps around Charlotte with the truck and the old tire model. And if you were doing a low 29, then you were extremely fast. But it seems to me like low 29s or sort of mid 29s is the average pace around here with the new tire model, Samuel.
Yeah, and that's something that these truck drivers are going to have to be used to. You may have noticed while we've been broadcasting, some cars spinning, particularly it seems to be occurring off of turn 4. The truck's just getting back on the gas a little bit too early in turns 3 and 4, and they lose traction on the bump of the exit of 4 and go skidding through the infield. And if we see that happening through the race, you know, that seems to me the biggest issue with this fixed setup and the new tyre model is just some cars breaking loose on the exit of turn 4. And the winner, I'm sure, is going to have to try and control that.
Well, that's right. The most dangerous place, as I think we may have mentioned previously, is coming into the quad oval. If you do have a draft or side draft from another car next to you, it makes the car extremely squirrely. So drivers have to be very careful when coming onto the quad oval and heading off into turn 1. Turn 1 is actually slower than turn 3. So you need to be careful all around the track, obviously, but particularly in the quad oval.
Yeah, getting down to about 175 miles an hour in the turns, going up to about 185 miles an hour on the straight. So it's very fast-paced here, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to take a look at the qualifying times here. And like you say, Richard, the top qualifying times are 29.4s, right about where they were in practice, with once again the top 8 cars within the 10th of a second of each other. But we're not going to look into too much of that now. About 2 minutes of qualifying left. Another big story I'm going to have to assume, Richard, is what kind of race are we going to see? Are we going to see a caution field wreckfest, or are we going to see a long green flag run? Because both are possible at Charlotte, and it really depends on the quality of the drivers and the cooperation they have amongst each other. Are they willing to be givers, or are they going to force it on each other and be takers?
Yeah, good point. You know, we haven't broadcast any of their races previously, and the drivers are fairly new to us. We do know a few names there. I can see Joshua Leutz, which is a name I know quite well. Michael Koenig, who is a regular oval racer. So there are a few names there. But if you look at the practice session, Gary Whitson who is family of the organizer Bryce Whitson. He topped the leaderboard in practice. Currently, he is where is he? He's a little way down in the standings. Currently in the qualifying, so obviously things need to shake out. But to talk about the fact that whether these drivers are going to cooperate with each other, I guess we'll have to see, and the opening laps will tell us, Samuel.
Yeah, Bryce Whitson, who you were talking about being a bit down in the standings, currently sitting 7th right now. He certainly has a bit of a reputation in the series, being the runner-up of the Pro Division. The American Sim Racing Series have a variety of divisions, the Truck Series here just being one of them. The Pro Series is their premier division, and he was a runner-up of it last season, I believe. I've got to confess, I did not have on my notes who the champion of that division was, but I don't think it was Adam Benefield, but right now he's the one sitting at the top of the timing sheets and qualifying, so there's certainly going to be some names we'll get used to tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And certainly a bunch of fast guys here, just looking at the times. 29.4 is an excellent time around here, and even all the way down to, oh my gosh, 24th place, they're all in the 29. So certainly, pardon me, on the new tire model, these cars will have to be a little bit faster. But the question is, how do the tires actually perform over the long run, Samuel? That's what I'm really interested in.
I feel that depends on the driver. If you have a driver who's slow and going to be nice on his tyres, he'll be better in the long run, obviously. And but I think you're still going to have to want to pit for tyres here, unless it goes green flag and you're right at the end and you can make it with 5 to go on an old set of tyres. And while we talk about tyres, actually qualifying is just finishing up right now. Checkered flag is out, and we should start seeing the cars grid up on the pit road here momentarily, and I believe 29 cars are in the session, but 2 of them have left, Richard, so I believe 27 cars will be starting this race.
Yeah, good stuff. The excitement's starting to build. The pace car is on the track right now, and the cars are gridding up. Let's run through the field for you. So the fastest qualifier with a 29.426 was Adam Benefield. He's followed by Aaron Easter, then Derek Cash in 3rd place. Jamie Moore will be on the outside of the 2nd row. Alan Young is 5th. Gary Whitson, who was the fastest practice session driver, is in 6th place. He's followed by Jordan Harnish. Joshua Lloyd's in 8th place. Bryce Whitson in 9th. And Glenn Stanley in 10th place. Samuel?
No, boy, is this fixed setup making it competitive, because some of them were so far down there in practice yet seem to excel in qualifying. 11th place is Brad Fulham. 12th place is Steve Buhala, who we saw running side by side in practice, so we know he's got potential to do some clean racing. Jim Foose is starting 13th with Dan Winter in 14th. Mark Myers starting in 15th place, and alongside him will be Casey Clark. Michael Kunik will be starting 17th. I believe I've heard his name before. Travis Waite will be starting 18th. Louis Robinette will be starting 19th. And David W. Gibson will be starting 20th as they begin to roll off here, Richard.
Yeah, that's right. The pace car is currently leading them away. 1 lap of pacing and then into the racing. So just quickly in 21st place, there's Alex Bates. 22nd is Andrew Whittaker. 23rd, Eric Bannenberg. 24th, Forrest Gregg. 25th, Aaron Kleinhans. In 26th, Jason Swan. 27th, 28th, and 29th places have not registered a qualifying time, but Jason Klein, Sean Music, and Jake Morris. Now, Samuel, we're going to get you to call the start for us as they come around, approaching now to turn 3. So it's going to be the green flag will fall in a few seconds' time.
A couple of notes to make. Jason and Kristen will actually start from 27th place at the back of the field. He did not set a lap on in qualifying, and I'm assuming he's doing that to stay out of trouble, because in practice he was up there in about the top 10, and so he certainly has the pace. Meanwhile, Jordan M. Harnish was given an EOL, end of line penalty. I don't know what the story is on that. If we talk to him after the race, maybe we'll find out. Anyhow, pace car's off, and Adam Benefield is actually on pole, but kind of laid back a little bit there of Aaron Isla and got a run on him, and we are racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Top 3 cars already single file, top 4 cars should... Oh no, they're going side by side for third here. Aaron Isla started second, he's already down to fourth as they exit turn 2 as Derek Cash moves up into third. Looks like the field is clean through turn 1, Richard.
Yeah, Derek Cash has now moved up to second place. Aaron Easter is in third place. And behind him, we have Jamie Moore. So a nice clean start. We like to see that. It was interesting to see how Adam Benefield held the field back, held them back, and then shot away. You always have a great advantage if you are in pole position because you choose when you want to start. Currently, Samuel, nice green flag racing. We just saw Alan Young move up a position there. He is now into fourth place. So good racing here. We got a side-by-side in front of Alan going in for third place. Derek Cash alongside the 33 car of Aaron Easter. They're coming through the very, very tough section on the quad oval. He's still got the inside, and I think we may have a caution.
Going back in the field to try and find out who it is. We got a smoker. Eric Bannenberg is smoking. Forrest Beck has damage. Andrew Whitaker is smoking down in the infield. There are no free repairs in this series. There are no free repairs in this series. So if you blow your engine, unfortunately, you will be done. And I think a couple of trucks are going to be out of this, Richard.
Yeah, well, that's really unfortunate. These things do happen. And from what we've seen in other broadcasts from the oval racing, it tends to be stuff happening around the back as, you know, the folks get a little anxious about trying to make up positions and make errors of judgment. And then you will find that a mistake happens. As we see, the pace car is now on the track. And the pace car will pick up the lead driver, which in fact is still Adam Benefield. A nice paint job that Adam's got on his car there, Samuel.
Yeah, I'm just going back and watching the replay. What happened is Andrew Whitaker got loose off of 4, got it in the wall, tried to stay out of trouble, but then got hit by Forrest Gregg, who turned him into the path of Eric Bannenberg. And really it was a contact between Andrew Whitaker and Eric Bannenberg there that really did those two drivers in. But I'll tell you what, considering it was the wreck took place throughout the whole quad oval, it's a miracle only 3 trucks were involved.
Yeah, and you got to remind the viewers that there are no fast repairs in the iRacing series. The administrators have the option of giving each driver 1 or more free cars. They have chosen not to do this for this particular race and probably for the whole series. So we will find that cars with damage will have to go into the pits and have their damage repaired in the normal way, and that will soak up a lot of time for some of these drivers. Let's see, Samuel, if these guys are going to take an opportunity. Only a few laps gone, 5 laps, to duck into the pits and grab some fuel.
Well, the leaders didn't that time, but a couple of the tail enders did, and I don't know if that's because they're going to accept the penalty. Maybe pit road was closed. But if we look on pit road right now, the number 62 car of Forrest Gregg, you can see how beat up his truck is, but he's still in the race. Now, the 2 drivers who were smoking after that accident, Eric Bannenberg and Andrew Whitaker, we mentioned how there are no fast repairs. They are done, Richard. We are down to 25 cars.
Yep, that's right. If you've got a spinning engine or if your engine is blown, you will not be able to rejoin the race. As we see Forrest Gregg, coming out with a very, very damaged car. Have a look at his car. The rear of his car is totally squashed in. His aerodynamics on the rear is going to be terrible. He may be just doing a lap just to see how the car is, and he may duck back into the pits. We shall see.
Yeah, that's probably what I can do, Richard, because on iRacing you got required repairs. You got repairs that you must make, otherwise the iRacing officials will say, no, your car is too unsafe to go back out on the circuit. Once you're done with that, you get optional repairs, which is where you can come on pit road and your pit crew can pull out a fender and make your car a bit more aerodynamic. So what we're going to see under every caution between now and the end of the race is Forrest Gregg coming in each lap to try and get those optional repairs fixed to try and make that truck just a bit better. And if he's still on the lead lap after the final caution and he's got a good truck, he may be able to get back up there. Who knows, maybe even contend for a top 10 if this thing turns out to be a bit of a wreck fest.
Yes, and Samuel, I noticed now that the lights are out on the pace car, which means we will be getting a restart. It's a double file restart, which means that the cars will start next to each other. Adam Benefiel is our race leader at this point. He will have the choice of when he wants to lead the field off in the restart. So Aaron Easter, Derek Cash, and Jamie Moore on the second row. These are the guys that we'll have to watch to see what they're going to do. Over to you, Samuel.
Yeah, hopefully Aaron Eastler will learn from his poor restart last time. Here he goes. He's behind Adam Benefiel this time. That's the way to do it. Cuts down low. That's perfectly legal in iRacing, unless the ASRS officials say not so. Derek Cash running third. So top three are single file. And in fact, the top four are, but then we got Joshua Leutz, a driver we're familiar with on the road course side, coming underneath for position now. Is he going to make it 3 wide? No, thinks better of it. Going to tuck him behind Jamie Moore here, but it's very close quarters racing through turns 3 and 4, Richard.
Yeah, I have to say, good choice from Joshua. Do not want to go 3 wide around any oval track, much less Charlotte. He's side by side with the number 15 car at the moment, and the 15 car is Alan Young. He has got the bottom, the inside line, so he gets away with that. Nice clean driving there. Good move from Joshua Lloyd.
Yep, so, and I'll tell you what, they're closing up a little bit up front. Adam Benefiel has not been able to run away with it. Aaron Eastler is still on pace. Top 3 cars have a bit of about a half a second gap over this battle for 4th, led by Jamie Moore, who restarted in 5th place, so he's been able to pick up a spot there. And then they're kind of in a pack. It goes all the way back to 11th position, round out by Jim Fuchs.
Yeah, and I just want to put a camera on the number 32 car of Jordan Harnish. Now, the reason is Jordan is 3rd in this championship, Samuel, and he's a fairway back. Is he just being conservative during the opening laps of this race? Bearing in mind we are only on lap 10 of 67, or is he not as fast as the guys in front of him?
I'm going to say he's being conservative, Richard, because he was 4th fastest in practice and 7th fastest in qualifying. He's kind of running on his own right there, although he is going for position on Dan Winter right there, who easily gives it up, or maybe not. Okay, now he will. Now he'll relinquish that position. So, you know, it's going to be a long race. We're going to have at least 2 green flag pit stops, I believe. And so, you know, why not run the back there? And meanwhile, we got the battle for the lead. Adam Benefiel is on the high line. Aaron Eastler was looking under him in turns 1 and 2. Going to filter in behind down in turns 3 and 4. But that certainly shows, Richard, that Aaron is not content to run second right now.
Yeah, I was just watching that there. The number 33 of Aaron Easter. He certainly put a challenge on Adam Benefiel trying to take away the lead position. Adam has now decided that he'll stick with the low line. That going wide is just natural. Some guys can basically, Samuel, you can't go all the way around on the low line. You'll compromise your entry into the really, really fast corners. But just quickly, we can see that the top 3 cars, Samuel, have actually got a decent break on the 4th car right now.
And here goes Aaron Eastler down on the low line. Now that means he's going to have to roll out the gas a little bit early, and he won't get the run off of turn 4 that Adam Benefiel was. And now maybe Derek Cash is thinking, okay, maybe I need to do something about this. Meanwhile, breaking news here, Jamie Moore running in 4th position is on the apron. He's coming into the pits, and he's stopping on the track, Richard. I think he's done.
Yes, something must have happened there. We did not see. He's taken a tow, so he's sitting in the pits right now. That will hurt his chances. I must apologize, Samuel. I've been calling Aaron Eastler Aaron Easter, which is really bad of me. So I apologize to you, Aaron. We've got it correct now. Back to the front of the field where we see that Adam Benefiel is still leading Aaron Eastler. the very guy we spoke about there in that car with a mojo on the back, is challenging for second place, and not far behind them is Derek Cash once again. These guys are fighting quite a fierce battle here, Samuel.
Yeah, Avenisla, and not Avenista, as Richard Lobster said, is. I think he's learning from his mistakes, Richard. He made a mistake at the start of a race by trying to go before Adam Benefield did, and then he made a mistake a couple of laps ago by trying to make a pass down low. And I think he's beginning to learn that he can't do that. He's either got to make a pass during pit stops or try and make it work on the high line, but neither of those I don't think is going to work right now. And knocking on wood right here, I've just got to say, with 16 laps in and only one caution, judging by the amount of wrecks that were going on in practice and qualifying, I didn't think we were going to be able to say that, as right now they begin the battle for second, and that's going to let Benenfield run away a little bit.
Yeah, correct. And I want to go back a little bit to the number 13 car of Gary Whitson. Now, Gary is one of the fast guys in this series. He is, in fact, the championship leader, current championship leader. He has moved up to 5th position from a qualifying position start in 6th. So he's moved up 1 place from his qualifying position. But Joshua Lloyd's in front of him in the blue car, the number 64. He's moved up a number of positions from his start on the grid, and he's in a very, very handy 4th position. So a great drive from Joshua Lloyd's there, Samuel.
Yeah, meanwhile, our leaders are getting into a bit of lap traffic. Louis Robinet runs up to the high line and gets out of our way. But I want to go back to the Battle of the Six, Richard. What's this? This is about an 8-car pack. And they were 3 wide there temporarily down the backstretch between Alan Young, who's going to pinch Bryce Whitson down, but Bryce Whitson's having none of it. He gets on the gas a bit earlier out of turn 4. Should have a track to himself right now. And right now, Alan Young is in the high line, which is beginning to look a little bit undesirable. He could get freak trained by Glenn Stanley in that blue car here.
Absolutely. The thing is, the low line, particularly coming through the quad oval section, is the desired line without question. If you're forced high, the wall is too close for you to, to go full speed. You have to back it off a little bit. He's doing quite well on the outside line, though. He's persisting with that outside line, but that's because he's forced to do so because the number 55 car, very close to him, pushing him up into the wall. He's handling it very well because there must be an enormous amount of pressure on Alan in the number 15 car right now.
Meanwhile, there has been a change for 4th. Gary Whitson has gone by Joshua Lloyd's, but we'll keep our cameras on this battle because, tell you what, it's about to get a bit more exciting, Richard, because the lap truck of Louis Robinet has been passed by the 5th place truck, and this huge pack will now start having to deal with lap traffic.
Yeah, that's it's a little bit early for them to be dealing with lap traffic. Hopefully the lap traffic trucks just stay out of their way. We've got somebody down on the apron there. Who is that? That is Forrest Gregg. He's looks like he's calling it a day. He's coming back into the pits. That car doesn't look good, and obviously Samuel doesn't feel good either.
No, but it was almost joined by a few trucks. That pack that just went by him right there, battling for 17th. They were 3 wide coming out of turn 2, but it was because one of them made a mistake. I was pretty sure they didn't want to be 3 wide. Very clean racing so far, and I've got to begin wondering, Richard, when are these trucks going to begin making their stops? Because most of them didn't come down pit road during that first caution, and if this is a 2 or 1 pit stop race, we're going to begin seeing them pit within the next 10 laps or so, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just doing some rough calculations in my head here. With a full tank of fuel, which is normally 17.9 gallons in the truck, you can kind of get something like 35 or 40 laps around here. So 50% fuel is half of that. You're looking at 17 laps, so the pit window should open around about the 15 lap mark. But they've done 23 laps already, so my calculations must be completely off. Not sure what's going. They did have some caution laps, but not so that they could do 23 laps. I must have something's changed, or my my calculation is completely wrong.
Well, meanwhile, they might not have to worry about that if a caution flies, and it very might well come from this battle for 7th. Kevin Cleanhouse is battling with Glenn Stanley and Alan Young, and they had inches between them a couple of turns ago, and meanwhile I was watching the car fall back, but that was a lap car. They began to spread out a little bit now, but it got pretty close there for a while. Meanwhile, Adam Benefield up front has been able to pull away from the 2nd and 3rd place trucks, so you're not missing a whole lot up there.
No, Adam Benefield is he's doing it not easily, but he's doing it very well. He's virtually led all the laps in this race, sorry, and he's been chased by currently Derek Cash. So there's been a change for the 2nd position, Samuel. Aaron Isler has relinquished that 2nd position to Derek Cash, who at this stage, after 26 laps, it doesn't say all that much just yet. There's plenty of laps to go, but certainly these guys, the top 3, have shown a clean pair of heels to the others so far, and they are doing a great job, in my opinion.
I'm watching Casey Clark coming out of pit road and almost seeing it, actually running on the grass down in the infield in turns 1 and 2. The significance of why I'm watching him is, well, he was in pit road. Maybe that's a sign that green flag pit stops have started, and in fact Joshua Leutz and Steve Buhala are now on pit road. So yeah, green flag pit stops certainly starting now, Richard.
Well, that makes me feel much better, because my calculations were not that off then, given the fact that they did have caution, a caution, so that's 4 laps as well under caution. So I said 17 or 18. There's probably about 20 laps on the fuel that they've got, and they managed to eke out a few more laps with the caution of laps that they ran.
Leaders
so this
are
is
in
great.
The pits. The leaders are in the pits, and Aaron Isler did a much better job than Adam Benefield on getting on pit road, was actually able to leapfrog him on pit entry. Now, of course, the last thing that these guys want to see is a caution come out right now, which very well may happen, because pit entry and pit exit are a little bit tricky, and if it does, they could get caught a lap or 2 down, but they might be able to come back from that, given the fact that there are lucky dogs and waiver rounds in oval racing, as Derek Cash, another one of the leaders, is in the pits. Oh, and big crash on the front stretch. Glenn Stanley and Casey Clark. Casey Clark, who just pit, was going by Glenn Stanley. Hard hit for both trucks. I think they're done. Caution is out.
Well, I have to tell you, that was very, very lucky for Adam Isler. He managed to get out just before the pace car came on. If the pace car had got in front of him, that would have been a serious setback for him. But he's managed to go around, and he will have his opportunity. However, the other drivers who did not pit will now have the opportunity, Samuel, strategy-wise, of pitting under caution, which certainly will give them an advantage, whereas the other guys lost time pitting under green. So very interesting development right here.
I'm seeing about 16 cars left on the lead lap. Also, Steve Buhala actually had a spin, but I think it was after the caution came out. Here come the trucks that have not pit yet, coming down pit road, led by Alex Bates, who we haven't talked about at all today, but he is currently your leader. Obviously going to lose that lead now that he is down pit road. But most of the trucks, Richard, that pitted under green should be able to get a wave around, or a lucky dog here, get back up on the lead lap. My concern now is that we're only on lap 30. If we go green again to the end, which we were getting a long green flag run there, we will have to see more green flag pit stops, perhaps in the dying stages of the race.
That's correct, and whoever did their calculations on the fuel obviously did a great job, because it looks like if they can get another 25, 26 laps, and that's with a caution from their second can of fuel, that will mean they will still have to pit. And if it's all green flag, then it means they will have to pit after about 20 or so laps. So yes, definitely another pit stop, and it remains to be seen. Now we'll see the strategy come into play. If there's another caution, what do? Do you jump in the pits and just fill up, top it off with fuel? No tires, just to, that'll take 3 or 4 seconds and you're out back on the track again. The strategy will now become very interesting to watch here, Samuel.
It really depends on when the caution falls. If the caution falls in about 10-15 laps, when they can make it to the end and they're all on old tyres, I think you'll see pit road will be a very
Oh,
busy
somebody's
place.
blown an engine there by the looks of it, just in front of
Casey
Derek Cash.
Casey Clark, who was one of the drivers who was in that crash, and what he was doing, Richard, was trying he kind of took a risk. He was trying to stay out under caution until pit road opened for him, so he didn't get a penalty on the restart. The risk he ran, of course, was that if his engine began overheating and blew up, he would be at the point of no return, and unfortunately he rolled the dice and it came up snake eyes.
Well, that's right. His race is most definitely over now. We're still seeing cars jumping in the pits. One of the interesting things that I noted, not that unexpected, was that everyone or most of the guys took 4 tires.
Yeah, I mean, it's under caution, especially they would take 4 tires. I think even if even green flag running, you know, you still got a long race ahead of you. Now, the advantage to taking 4 tires now is that on your final stop with about 10 laps to go, you might be able to get away with just playing 2 tires, which of course is more advantageous to you late in the race because you have track position in the closing laps of a race. And, you know, if you have track position with 6 laps to go and the caution comes out and ends the race, who cares if you would have fallen to the back on 2 tires? You're in first place and checkered flags waving for you, you got the win. And right now, the guy sitting in the catbird seat, Richard, is Derek Cash. He will be leading when we restart here because even though he pitted, I believe, at the time the caution came out. So the field slowed up. He was able to get back out on course in front of a pace car, stay on the lead lap, and he'll be your leader.
Yeah, that's correct. Just want to explain a little bit some of the stuff we've been talking about here with strategy. So with taking tires, with the truck, if you do take tires, it takes a lot more time than to put in fuel, which is almost exactly the opposite of what happens on the road racing side of things. So if you can take 2 tires only, you are really going to save time. And if you can take no tires, then you're going to save a lot more time. So that's how the strategy will have to play out. Where in the race, as you said, Samuel, that was so important. Depending on how far the race has gone, we're only 33 laps now, so we're halfway exactly in this race. It depends on where you are as to what your strategy will be. I know from if I could last to the last 10 laps, I would jump into the pits. I would gamble on not taking any tires at all, just doing a splash and go and topping up with enough fuel to get me to the end of the race. So pace lights are out on the pace car, and we will be having a restart on the next time by, but there's just a little explanation for those who may not be familiar with oval strategies on how people tend to think about it. It's still a very, very large calculation that needs to go on in a driver's head. As we see the pace car ducking off. Over to you, Samuel.
Yeah, pace car's off. 21 cars left on the lead lap after the restart. Derek Cash quickly back on the gas. Gary Whitson restarted second, but he's going to lose that position very quickly to his nephew or whatever relative that is. Bryce Whitson taking second position from here. Michael Koenig takes fourth from Alex Bates. The outside line really didn't get a great restart there, Richard.
Yeah, no, I noted that, and we have an entirely new leader now. Derek Cash is the current leader in this race. Gary Whitson, who is leading this championship, is in second place. So it's all coming together for Gary at this point in the race. But he has lost that position in second place to Bryce, his family member. He's in third place. Michael Koenig, who started way down in about 17th place in on the grid, he's up to fourth place. They've all done pit stops at this point in time, so it's green flag racing now until and we see Michael Koenig have a massive bubble.
And he's going to take a lot of trucks with him.
Yes,
4 trucks. Did the rest get through it okay?
Yes, look, that was all unfortunately on Michael Koenig. The replay will show Michael Koenig getting loose in the quad oval on the reasonably cold tires. The replay is on at the moment. Watch him get loose. under and under the green flag and at the quad oval. And getting loose, another truck, he goes into another truck and then starts a chain reaction there, Samuel. Very bad news for the guys who were behind him, unfortunately.
Jim Fusa's damaged. Michael Koenig is smoking. That is not a good sign. He needs to get that truck down the pit road ASAP, but I think it's too late. And you were just talking about Michael Koenig before that happened, Richard. How great it was that he was running up there in 4th after starting 20th. And he was pulling away from the rest of the trucks. And I was about to say I thought that was due to clean air. Him having clean air on his grill, that he was able to pull away for that reason. Obviously, it wasn't the case. He might have been driving just a little bit out of his element because he broke loose on turn 4. Huge pack of trucks behind him. But I'll tell you what, that could have been a heck of a lot worse than what it was. A lot of the trucks there did a very good job at driving through the infield, not getting involved. Pit road is open and we've got takers, but leader Derek Cash does not go down pit road. And as a matter of fact, a couple of fakes there, only about 3 cars in the top 10 are in the pits. We've still got 30 laps left, Richard. I don't think this is going to get them to the end.
Yeah, we've just seen replay after replay of that incident with Michael Koenig. It's something he will regret. It is not unusual for drivers to forget about the fact that they have cold tires. We do know with the new tire model on all types of cars, road cars and oval cars, you do need to take a little time, maybe 2 or 3 laps to get those tires warmed up. He was racing from the get-go and he paid the price, Samuel.
Yeah, he's still taking tires on pit road. I think he might actually be able to get back out on track because it looks like they are attempting to fix his truck on pit road. He will definitely lose a couple of laps getting required repairs, but he could still be in this thing, which is saying something considering, let's see, who's in 22nd place truck here is 4 laps down. So really there's 21 trucks left in contention here. If you can get your truck back out on the circuit, there's still some big points up for play.
Yeah, but you know, if you have a smoking car that is indicative of some engine problem, it never ever gets fixed properly. So he'll be down on pace a great deal, and he won't be competitive. I've no doubt of that. Meanwhile, if we just have a look now at the 82 car of Adam Benefield. Now, bear in mind, this is the driver that led quite a lot of the opening laps. In fact, most of them, Samuel. He's now down in 7th place. I will be really interested to see how he deals with that. The 82 car, very nice paint scheme he's got on there. How does the race leader obviously had the pace on the rest of the field early? How does he deal with the situation coming from 7th place? It's going to be very interesting to watch.
I think, though he's got to play it conservative, he's got to get up there as quick as possible. I think it's too late now to pull up a replay with us probably going back on the green flag racing in a couple of laps. I'm willing to bet, yeah, wow, I'm just watching the replay of a wreck, Richard. Adam Benefield, because he was stuck in the middle of that pack, he was one of the trucks that had to take evasive action to avoid that pile-up. As he was going through the infield, he actually hit the tarmac part on the Legends Oval. He went on 2 wheels. The front end of his truck actually took off like an airplane. So he's very lucky just to still be in the race, and I'm sure his heart rate's up a little bit after that.
No doubt, no doubt. Look, Derek Cash was leading at the time and a few cars behind him, probably the first half a dozen or so. They were out of that. Now, in fact, it would only have been the first 3 because Michael Koenig was in 4th place at the time of the incident. So everybody behind him, and that of course included Adam Benefield and a whole host of others, had to take severe evasive action to avoid what was a lottery really taking place in front of them. You would know, Samuel, that in a case like that, there is no really good place to go if you have a spinning car in front of you and a couple of other cars already hitting that car. Where do you go? You just got to take a chance, and what Adam did was head for the infield, and obviously he got away with that.
Oh, that's always where I like to be. I always like to be down on the middle lane if you think a wreck's about to take place in front of you. Because if you're on the inside, that means you got that whole infield you can play with to avoid the wreck. If you're stuck on the high line, you just got a brake pedal on it to slow you down and the wall on your right. And other than that, sorry buddy, you're in for a ride. Well, a couple of things to watch out for on this restart. First of all, I think you're going to see Derek Ash run away, and also obviously keep an eye on Aaron Isla and Adam Benefiel, who are going to restart 5th and 7th and try and run through the field. Jim Foose and Michael Koenig still on pit road getting repairs. We're about to see the pace car come down pit road. We'll break in if anything happens. But right now, it's lap 40, 27 to go. It's time to crank it up.
And we are back after that. Don't you love the sound of those cars going there? As we see a 3-wide situation with Adam Benefield. He backs out of it. Adam Benefield is racing very cleverly here, Samuel. He saw a 3-wide. Go ahead.
The two trucks in front of him just brushed Jordan Harnish and Aaron Kleinhans. He's going to have to try and get by these two trucks as quick as possible. Not only does he need to start making moves if he wants to finish in front, he's just got to get out of his danger zone. Look at them in front of him. Alan Young and Travis Wright, one side by side. He is in the, he's in the eye of a hurricane right now.
And the 85 car, the red car of 85 is Adam Kleinhans. He pushed wide there and nearly pushed Adam into the wall at that point in time. Adam is in the danger zone, there's no doubt. He's got to clear these trucks and try and put on a challenge on the front runners. But there's one thing that might work in his favor. There will have to be another pit stop late in this race. And now he goes to the inside, which is probably a better line for him to have. Can he make the inside line work for him? He goes to the inside of Kleinhans, which he backs out of it. He's racing conservatively. He does not want to get into a tangle with some of these guys, Samuel.
Let's try and get an onboard on Benefield here, because I want our viewers to have a look at the rear of Aaron Kleinhans' truck. He has a major dent in the right rear spoiler. That's got to be scaring Benefield a little bit, because that aerodynamics on that number 85 truck certainly can't be ideal. That thing could spin around in a heartbeat. Oh, and
exactly
look, he's
right.
going to go 3 wide here.
This is what I'm saying. These guys in front of him, these are two very, very risky drivers in that they're not risky. They are taking large risks at this point in time, knowing that the laps are running down. So Benefield is stuck behind them at the moment, and he can't find a way through, Samuel.
And now, look at this. He's trying to force his way through now, all the way down to the apron. Meanwhile, you're missing nothing up front. Derek Cash has a 1.5 second lead over the rest of the field. This is where the action is. And now he might finally have something on Jordan Harnish here. He certainly has a desired line. Going through the quad oval, being the bottom line. It's really a matter of how hard does he want to drive in the entry of turn 1, and can he hold on to it for the exit of 2? Looks like he's going to be able to. That's one truck disposed of, but he still has a side-by-side battle for 5th in front of him. And I'll tell you what, that damage on the back
and
of
there's a touch. There's a touch. The 32 and the 13 car, which is 32 and 13. That was Harnish and Whitson, Gary Whitson. They touched, and no harm, no foul there, but that was very close, guys. Very, very close indeed.
I can't believe the job Aaron Kleinhans is doing, running up front with all that damage on the back of his truck. But I'll tell you what, Adam Benefield is one lap. It's going to go from 7th to 5th. I think he's out of the danger zone, Richard. If a caution comes out, if he can get this 5th position here, and there goes Clean Hands! And into the wall goes the 23. There's 4 cars in it now. They're reckoning the quad oval. Joshua Leutz is in it. Dan Winter and Jason Kristen are in it.
And the 13 car spun all the way into the pits. He'll get a black flag for that. My goodness, this is just crazy stuff. Once again, as we go to replay now, you'll see the accident happening. It's the 13 car that got loose there, Samuel, and he caused the chain reaction.
Well, it was 2 separate wrecks. The 13 car Whitson got loose because he was trying to take evasive action to avoid Aaron Cleanhans, who had spun out of turn 4, just looped it because of that damage on the back. And right now, I'm watching live pictures. Joshua Leutz and Jason Kristen are smoking. They are done, Richard.
Yeah, actually, you spot on there. It was Aaron Cleanhans that started it. He is the gentleman that got loose. And then everything else followed behind there. But there was obviously a second incident as well. Cleanhans now into the pits with a worse car looking, with his car looking a lot worse than it did previously, and it was looking pretty bad previously. So now everything is shaken up. We do have a caution out there. Now we need to look at strategy, Samuel. We have 20 laps to go. You second and third. So it looks like guys are coming in. They're gonna take full fuel and 4 tires probably, and then it'll be a race to the finish because there'll be a few caution laps as well. I think they will be able to finish this race with the resources they gather right now.
Yeah, and I think you're definitely going to see 4 tires, Richard, because most of the field are going to come down pit road. And honestly, there's only about 15 trucks left on the lead lap right now after a couple of big wrecks today. So really, it doesn't surprise me to see all these trucks on pit road. What surprises me is that Derek Cash stayed out. And look at this.
He's coming in now.
No, he's over in turn 2, Richard. He's running on the apron because that's the shortest way around the track. He is trying to use these cautions at the end of a race to save fuel. He's going to try and make it to the end of this race without coming down pit road.
Oh, very, very risky. It is at least, what have we got? We're 51 to 67, 16 laps. How much fuel did he take? Maybe, well, I think you're right. He's going to try that, and certainly running on the apron, running on a flat surface with hardly any banking or no banking at all. Let's see. They're coming up to the pit entry right now. Will he duck in, or will he prove that you have called it spot on, Samuel? And you are absolutely correct. He's going to try to go to the end on what he's got right now.
And he's not the only one. The 2 trucks right behind him on the lead lap did not pit. Alan Young and Adam Benefield. And after all, Adam Benefield went through on the last green flag run. I don't blame him for staying out.
That's right. Let's race with some guys that I know that can race clean and hard at the same time. So Adam Easler in 4th place there. He's also still out there. Bryce Whitson, these cars, their trucks still, their trucks still look pretty good, Samuel.
Yeah, and we keep referring to L. Bryce Whitson Jr. as Bryce Whitson. Just for clarification on our audience, I don't think we'd informed them about that. Meanwhile, a lot of trucks have retired from the race, and I'm looking for confirmation. I believe we have 14 cars on the lead lap.
That's correct, and what surprises, in fact, amazes me, that Aaron Cleanhans, who has probably got one of the most beaten up cars I've ever seen, or beaten up trucks, I should say, he is still on the lead lap, and I'm going to put a camera on him so the viewers, he's in the pits now, so there goes his chance. No, he will definitely fall off the lead lap right now.
If he comes back out on the track in front of pace car, he might be alright. I have a feeling we'll be getting the one to go here. Meanwhile, let's talk about some trucks that are still on the lead lap but have done a great job tonight. Louis Robinette has a beat-up truck. We saw him going a lap down in that long green flag run earlier. He's in 11th place still on the lead lap. David Gibson, 12th on the lead lap. The front of his truck is all crashed in. And even, he's not on the lead lap, but let's put a camera on him anyway. the number 35 truck of Michael Koenig, who was smoking earlier, has been able to get back up. I'm sure that truck's not going to be up to pace, but he is trying to log laps here still.
And would you believe, let's get a camera quickly on Aaron Kleinhans, the 85 car. He came out of the pits in front of the pace car, hoping to get a lap in. His truck, was too beat up, could not do it, spun the car out, and I think he'll be heading back to the pits now. They should be over after this. Although, Samuel, I have seen before that people will persist even with a car that is no good.
Yeah, maybe he just got loose on the apron. I haven't had a chance to watch a replay, honestly. I was checking the pace car and make sure the lights are off, and they are. And remember, our top 3 trucks did not pit under the last caution. And what we're really going to see here, Richard, is how big of a difference the tyres play. Are these top 3 trucks going to fall back through the field because of their old tyres?
Well, that is the interesting thing. You see, this is what people talk about. Some people say, Samuel, that oval racing is boring. You just go straight, turn left, go straight, turn left. But the strategies that have to be employed to win a race is absolutely critical to oval racing. And we see the pace car ducking off. So over to you, Samuel.
Derek Cash got a good restart last time, and he does it again, but Adam Benefield was ready for him, and he's only a few car lengths back. Those two have clean air. They're going to be able to pull away, I think. Aaron Isler here in 4th place, trying to get by Alan Young for 3rd. He's got new tyres. Let's see what he can do once he gets the 3rd position. Looks like a clean restart through the field.
Okay, now we need to talk about a couple of things here. Gary Whitson leading this championship is way down in 14th place. He is in fact the last car on this lead lap, and he's the championship leader. Nick Cohen is not in it at the moment because he's way down as well. But Jordan Hahn is the 3rd place in the championship. He is definitely in it. And of course, the fast guy at this track was Adam Benefield, Samuel. Adam Benefield is right up in 2nd place, so he could be challenging for a lead, as we see one truck really in a hurry there. Who is that in front of Jordan Harnish? Adam Isler? No, it is Jordan Harnish in the white and purple car, the number 32. He's making some really quick moves. Behind him we have Adam Isler in the 33 car. He's also in a hurry, so these guys are realizing, Samuel, that the laps are running down.
I think what you saw there, Richard, was contact between Bryce Whitson and Aaron Isler, and that's why Jordan was able to pick up a spot from Aaron Isler. And into the wall goes Adam Benefield. He's really trying to run the leader down. He just tagged the wall coming out of turn 4. There's only 10 laps to go, Richard. These guys are giving it their all. And now, around goes 3rd place, Alan Young. Can he save it? Yes, no, maybe no. And if that was just a single car incident, amazing that didn't catch up more cars. And I'll tell you what, this caution comes out with about 10 laps left to go. We're going to see a restart with about 4 laps left to go.
Correct. And now we're watching the replay there. We see him spinning out all by himself. He tries to catch it, but he goes all the way around and in fact goes rearwards up the track. He does manage to hold it up against the wall, so no other cars involved in that spin. There may have been 1 or 2 that touched him, but
yeah, there was
Go ahead, Samuel.
He grazed against the side of Jordan Harnish and Aaron Isler, and that's why I was worried about doing the wreck. I was worried he was going to clip him and turn him into the wall, but what happened is he clipped them and they kept going, and they actually helped straighten out his truck a little bit. But now the curious thing is, are Jordan Harnish and Aaron Isler going to come into the pits? Because they've certainly got damage, but with only 5 laps left to go, if they think they can hang on to their trucks, they might as well stay out.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at Jordan Harnish at the moment.
Oh,
so
and into the pits comes Adam Benefield, and I assume that's to fix the damage on the right-hand side of his truck. So Adam Benefield will not win this race.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Not with 5 laps to go. You can't give yourself any chance if you come into the pits at this late stage. So he'll be dropping down the order right now. Derek Cash, one must say, Samuel, is looking the goods for the race at the moment, as we see the lucky dog shooting past the pace car there to join up with the rear of the field again. Jordan Harnish, on the other hand, let's have a look at his car. So if I look at the front of his car, let's see. Oh, he's got some damage on the right-hand side of his car, so could be a problem for him. Is that damage or is that just the shape of the car, Samuel?
It's damage.
Yeah.
I think Derek Cash has got it. The only exception to that is if he runs out of fuel. And I don't think he will, because Bryce Whitson is playing the same strategy. No, wait. Who was the... Alan Young was the other truck. So, I don't know. Let me rephrase everything I just said. The only way Derek Cash will not win this race is if he runs out of fuel.
Well, okay. Now, while we've got the opportunity, director, put a camera on the fourth place car of Aaron Easler, the 33 car, from the front of his car. Just look at that car. It's all crumpled up in the front. It's about 2 feet narrower in the front than it is at the back there.
Yeah, and I think he's involved in a couple of incidents, and obviously the most recent one was the one that brought out this caution. Yeah, no, I don't know, Richard. I really am curious to see what kind of fuel consumption Derek Cash is doing, if he can make it to the end or not. We get another lap under caution here, which I'm sure is going to help him. So that's one story to watch for when they restart. And then, as you say, the other story is how well will Jordan Harnish and Aaron Easler, how well will their trucks be handling, considering Jason Swan and Louis Rabina is going to be restarting in 6th in that beat-up truck. And these are trucks that started pretty far down the order, so I certainly don't think they're going to have the pace to challenge for the win. They're just going to be looking to hold on and hopefully get a top 10 finish out of this.
Yeah, and I was just watching Derek Cash going way down onto the apron once again. He is seriously in conservation mode with his fuel, Samuel. I'm thinking that he may have trouble getting to the end, or maybe he thinks, well, it's going to be dicey anyway. So the guys behind him being Bryce Whitson and, well, actually Jordan Harnish and Aaron Easler are the two guys that we are interested in. Behind them is Jason Swan. Now, his truck hopefully is in good condition. He'll have a shot at a podium, I would imagine, Samuel.
Jason Swan has made 6 pit stops today, and that's the, dare I say, what we kind of call it in NASCAR is kind of a Matt Kenseth approach to a race. You kind of just lay at the back during a race, and then all of a sudden it's the end of a race, you go up there and you get your truck to the front. And now, let's see, who are we talking about again? Jason Swan. His fastest lap is a 29.7. Let's see what he was running in qualifying. I don't even...
Now, let me just cut in here very quickly, Samuel. Adam Benefiel has come back out in 8th place. So it doesn't look like he's that far from the lead distance-wise because of the too wide restart. But he's got a lot of work to do if he's got any hope in catching up with the front runners.
He's in the hornet's nest. I mean, yeah, maybe it's not too hard to overtake 5 trucks early on in the race when everyone's going to play it conservative, but you are not going to see any kind of conservative racing when they go back under green, which they'll do this lap with 6 laps to go. He's going to have to do the same kind of racing he was doing about 20 laps ago, and we saw how bad that almost turned out for him on a couple of occasions. But yeah, I was looking at Jason Swan's lap times in qualifying and practice, and nothing really to shout about, but still, I'll tell you what, if he can pull out a top 10 finish out of this, good on him.
Well, look, I'm going to have all my eyes on Adam Benefiel. He's got it all to do right here as we see the pace car ducking off. Over to you, Samuel.
Great restart by Derek Cash, not too much of a surprise there. So let's go back to this place and see how Jordan Harnish and Aaron Easler are able to hold on to their trucks. And like you say, also they're already battling for about 4th or 5th place. And I'll tell you what, if we get caution within the next couple of laps, that could end the race. They're 3 wide already down the back stretch, Richard.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This is not looking good. Adam backs out of it again. The car that just went past him was Aaron Easler with a beat-up car. So these guys have damaged cars. Benefield should be
And there's
fancying
a
his...
crash, and that's going to bring out a caution. Brad Fulham and David Gibson crash on the front stretch. And now the question comes, will there be a restart with 1 to go, or will the checkered flag fly?
Well, they're on lap 63, so they're 4 laps, so there might be a 1 lap, but I wouldn't fancy your chances of having that. I think we're going to finish under caution here.
Well, we'll find out. If we do, that's going to be the news Derek Cash is looking for. But I'll give a shout out to Bryce Whitson. He was not letting Cash run away. As a matter of fact, his fastest... As a matter of fact, let me double check that. Bryce Whitson has the fastest lap of the race, so he could certainly have posed a threat to Derek Cash there at the end. And I'm sure he'll be wanting this race to go green for a 1-lap shootout. But we're already getting drivers in the chat congratulate Derek Cash on the win. So, I don't know, maybe the drivers think it's over. We'll find out. They'll be coming to 3 laps to go when they cross the line this time by.
Yeah, now it takes at least 4 laps. I want to say that I was going to comment on the fact that with a restart with so few laps to go on the previous restart, it would be highly likely that we would see another caution because everybody would be right on the limit in trying to make up position. And I didn't get an opportunity to say that because the racing was hot and heavy. But I am not surprised that this race is finishing under caution. When you have a caution that late in a race, or put it another way, when you have a restart that late in a race, the risk of having another caution immediately is always very high.
It looks like in total we're going to get 13 trucks finishing on the lead laps out of 29 that started. So certainly a bit of attrition field, but we kind of expected that with the high speeds. And to confirm what you were saying, Richard, if the race were to go green for 1 more lap, the pace car lights would have to go off when they go over the line this time, and I just don't see that happening. So I'm looking down the scoring board right now, seeing who our big winners and our big losers have been here today. And I've got to be honest, the big loser that stands out straight away is Adam Benefield, who finished in 7th. Could have had so much more.
That is correct, but having said that, Adam Benefield is not featuring at the moment in the championship top 10, so he might be just outside the top 10 or something like that. But I tell you what, Jordan Heinisch getting a podium here, that's not gonna harm his chances at all, because Gary and Nick, the 2 leaders in the championship, will most certainly be behind him. Gary did have a good 5th place finish, and depending on what bonuses they get or how the bonus system works, he will certainly still be in it. But Nick Cohen, the 2nd place in the championship, did he even race this race? Come to think of it.
No, he didn't, but I just want to mention, Richard, the lights stayed on, the race will finish under caution, so congratulations, Derek Cash, if he's got enough fuel to finish the race under caution, which I think he will. But let's also give a shout out, Richard, to Jason Swan, finishing in 4th place after starting, let me double check, I believe he was the one who started 26th place, he was our slowest qualifier.
Yes, exactly, and I mean, you were talking about that earlier, and I was thinking about it as well. Starting last doesn't necessarily mean you are a bad driver or you're a slow driver. Maybe you intentionally want to start last. I've seen that happen where guys will back off a 10th or 2 so that they don't have to start up the front because for whatever reason they think that starting from the back and working their way forward is the best way to do it. I personally don't believe in that particular strategy, but it certainly worked for Jason Swan today because he ends up with a 4th place position, which is nothing to sneeze at.
Yep, and then rounding out the top 5, we got Gary Whitson, which is going to keep him up there in the points because until you get the Jason Kristen sitting in 6th in the points, I think Gary Whitson was our only top 5 points Gary Whitson was the only driver sitting in the top 5 in the point centre in this race that raced today, Richard, I believe.
Correct. Mind you, we've got Alex Bates, who was 4th place in the championship. He's finished up here with a 9th place. But look, the race is now officially over. We are going to take a break.
No, it's the white flag, Richard.
Oh!
But you almost pulled a Mark Martin there. Mark Martin's infamous moment at Bristol Motor Speedway, where he was leading the race under caution at the white flag and pulled into pit road and lost the race.
Oh dear.
Let's hope none of the drivers do that. I saw someone do it on iRacing once. Driver basically stopped his car on the track, and I thought I gained a position on the last lap under caution. It turned out he realised his mistake and retook his position in front of me. So that was kind of a 15 minutes of high spirit, 15 seconds of high spirits, and then it disappeared as quickly as it came. But I'll tell you what, let's give a shout out to Derek Cash. He's going to get all the points that you can get in the race. You know, he's led the most laps. He led a lap, 38 in total, and they're coming around the quad oval right now. He's going to take a win, and he started 3rd, so he was certainly fast today, Richard.
Yeah, he's done well. We should just mention in our defense that iRacing does not show us the white flag. The white flag is only shown to the drivers who are actually driving. So we, in a timed race, we won't actually know what's going on. But we are on lap 68. The race is officially over now. And you know, somebody like Derek Cash will be breathing a sigh of relief that the race is over, because there certainly was some torrid racing. I thought it was a good race. There were a couple of cautions that perhaps that were unfortunate. We won't say unnecessary, but certainly unfortunate in the fact that drivers spun out and caused wrecks around them. So, but really, you know, that is to be expected in a tough race like this. These trucks are very, very hard beasts to manhandle around a truck like that, bearing in mind they're going at plus 180 miles per hour on parts of this course. So I think it was a good race, and I want to look forward to some more of this truck racing.
Yeah, a very good racing today, and I agree with you. I think there seems to be a lot of positive vibe at the end of the race between the drivers, and hopefully we'll get to see them do it again soon.
Okay, and now we will take that break while we get things sorted out, and we will come back with the full standings for the race and some driver interviews. Welcome back, folks, to the American Sim Racing Series Camping World Trucks. We have seen a race that I thought personally, Samuel, was a great race, and this is how it finished. First place, Derek Cash. In second place, Bryce Whitson Jr. to get his full name. In third place, Jordan M. Hanish. In fourth place, Jason L. Swan. In fifth place, Gary B. Whitson. In sixth place, Aaron Isla. In seventh place, Adam Benefiel. In eighth place, Louis Robinette. In ninth place, Alec Bates. And in 10th place, Jason Kristen. Samuel?
Rounding out the cars on the lead lap are the trucks from 11th to 13th, Alan Young, David Gibson and Aaron Cleanhans, who brought out a big pile upper during the middle of the race. Dan Winter was the first trucker not on the lead lap. He had to make a late unscheduled stop. Not really sure what that was about. He got 14th. Steve Buhala got 15th and Glenn Stanley got 16th. Forrest Gregg brought his beat-up truck home to 17th place finish. As a matter of fact, most of the trucks from 17th on down were pretty beat up. Jim Bruce in 18th, Brad Fulham in 19th, and Michael Koenig in 20th, Richard.
Yep, and the guys behind them were more than 15 laps down. So we had Joshua Lloyd, Travis Wright, Mark Myers, Casey Clark, Jamie Moore, Andrew Whitaker, Eric Bannenberg, and there were a couple, Sean Music and Jake Morris, who I don't believe started. Those are the full standings. Now we come to the interesting part. We are going to do some driver interviews. And the first driver that we want to talk to is the second place getter, L. Bryce Whitson. So Bryce, this is your fourth race in the championship. It's our first broadcast. We were quite impressed with the driving skills shown by most of the drivers. How was your race, and are you happy with that second place, or did you think you could do better?
Oh, I had a great race, and I want to say thanks to you guys for putting the race on for us and broadcasting. But yeah, I had a great truck tonight. It was a good race. I wish there would have been a green flag run there at the end, so I could have caught Derek. But no, it was a good race overall.
Well, you know, you did start in ninth place, and even though it's ninth place, you were on 29.578, so about a half a second or so. 0.578, so about 1/10, maybe a couple of tenths off the leader. So, you know, everybody was quite close, and to come from ninth place and to finish up with the second place is great. What did you think of the number of cautions? Is that kind of normal in your series, or was this one unusual?
We've had some good races and some bad. This one I'd say was a little on the bad side. We had a couple of quick cautions back to back, but overall it wasn't bad. You know, it was a fun race, like I say.
All right, well, that second place will certainly not harm your championship chances. You are in seventh place in the championship, and this second place will most certainly move you up a little. Are you thinking about contending for the championship win, or would you be happy with a lesser place?
Oh, I'm still in the point standings. You know, with 7 races to go, we take the top 10 and do a chase. So as long as I can stay in the top 10 until then, I'm happy, and we'll let it all hang out there in those last 7 races.
Sounds good to me. Well, Bryce, thank you for letting us broadcast the race. We're very, very impressed with what we've seen today. And congratulations on your second place. And we'll say goodbye to you.
Hey, thank you, Richard. Thanks, Sam. And look forward to the next one with you guys.
Alrighty. Well, now we will bring in our winner, Derek Cash. And Samuel, you are going to have a chat with Derek.
Yeah, Derek, first question I've got to ask you, how tight were you on fuel?
We had about 2.5 gallons left.
Oh, okay, so you would have been good without those last couple of cautions there then?
To be honest, I'm not quite sure. I was going to run it dry either way, but I was hoping for 1 caution, but 2 was just a blessing. Got us wrapped up that win for us.
Yeah, congratulations on the win. We could see Bryce was coming there, but you were running up in the top three pretty much all race. So, I'm sure when the green flag dropped, did you have intentions of winning that race?
Oh yeah, with the new tire model, there really is next to no fall off. So I figured just get out front, avoid all the havoc, run my own pace, and let them guys try to chase me.
Well, it certainly worked. Honestly, I don't have my stat book on hand right now. How many of the races have you competed in so far this series, and are you going to be competing for the championship?
I used to run the series about what 6, 7, 8 years ago when it was still on NASCAR Racing 2003. This is my first race back since, and I don't know, my schedule is kind of conflict, so I can't really probably run it for the championship, but I'll run any race I can.
Hey, a win is always something worth racing for. Well, thanks, Derek. You put on a great show tonight, and we certainly realised you were a favourite there after a few laps. So, great job, buddy.
Thanks.
Back to you, Richard.
Well, we come to the close of this particular race then. But before I do that, I just want to get your overall thoughts on this race, Samuel. What did you think? Good racing, bad racing? You know, what did you think?
I think a lot of people who watch this broadcast are going to say that it was a bit of an ugly race, and I've got to forewarn anyone. Honestly, that's a product of a track. It was a fixed setup, so these drivers don't have really much control over what they want their truck to feel like during the race. It was a large field. 29 trucks is a very large field as far as iRacing is concerned. And also, at the end of the day, you saw 2 long green flag runs and, you know, just a couple of small mistakes that, due to the product of such a fast track and so many trucks, ended up getting a few trucks caught in wrecks. So, honestly, I was overly impressed by the quality of the racing. Saw a lot of side-by-side racing, 3-wide racing between drivers that know each other pretty well, and I'm excited to see more of the races that these guys put on in the future.
Yeah, I've got to second that entirely. I've done over 100 truck races myself, and I can say at this particular track here, there will tend to be the odd caution or two more than you might see at other tracks. And that's simply because it is a super fast track, and these trucks get around here at some serious pace. That quad oval section does tend to change things up a little. It's the same at tracks like Texas that do have a quad oval. The true ovals don't give that situation. So, you know, I thought it was a great race, and I saw some really good racing from a lot of guys, and I hope to see some more of it myself. But that is the end. So we do want to thank a few people before we go. The organizers, Jim Foos and Mark Myers. Thank you guys for putting on the series. You guys obviously do a fantastic job. You have many different series, this just being one of them. So kudos on you guys for organizing a good league. We would also like to thank the makers of the various software and hardware we use that help us make this stream possible. So that's iRacing.com, XSplit, Twitch TV, Audio Technica, YouTube, and Ava Media. Thanks also to the team today, myself, Kevin the director, and Samuel. If you would like to find out more about us, Global Sim Racing Channel, you can find us at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. There you will find some archived races, in fact all of our archived races, give or take 1 or 2, and of course race highlights from the various series that we do cover. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, and we're on Facebook as well, at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. We give a big thanks to Dougie Beard, who does our camera sets that you saw during the stream today, and without him we would not be able to bring you some of the awesome shots that we do. A special thank you also to Eric Ekholm, who provides us with a lot of the music that we use. You can find his music not only here on GSRC, but also in TV commercials, movie trailers, iTunes, and even Spotify. If you like the music, get on and tell Eric where you heard it, at Eric Ekholm. The next race in this series is the Lucas Oil 100 at Dover on May 28th. So that's going to be an interesting race for you guys. Dover is a track that could not be more different from this one. This coming weekend, Global Sim Racing Channel have a number of broadcasts you might be interested in. We have the Continental Endurance Sports Car Series, a road race, round number 4 at Lime Rock Park. That's on May 17. We have the Piston Cup and Oval race, round number 8 at Homestead Oval on May 18. And we also have the Virtual Sim Racing Association round 3 at Mid-Ohio. Those are GT3 cars road racing on May 18. Further down the track, we have the Enduro Pro Series round number 9 at Sonoma on May 24. The Northwest Majors Indy 500 on May 25. Look out for that one, guys. That's a fantastic race. We covered it last year, and we are sure that'll be exciting this year as well. And then we have the iSuper Speedway round number 10 at Talladega, one of the super speedways, on May 30. So plenty of upcoming broadcasts for you to get your teeth into, and for you oval fans, plenty of oval racing as well. So until next time, please race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.